Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys a new 2017 album review. And today we're going to be looking into the new album from Dragonforce entitled Reaching into Infinity, which came out today through Metal Blade Records. And before we get this out of the way, yes, I do like Dragonforce. Don't judge me. But anyway, for those of you who aren't familiar with Dragonforce, they're a power metal band based out of London, UK, formed in 1999. And these guys, when I first heard of Dragonforce, if you haven't heard of them, you probably have never played the video game Guitar Hero before, which is kind of how I discovered Dragonforce. But honestly, I think Through the Fire and Flames is the most overrated song of theirs. I just think Dragonforce has better songs than that. But anyway, back to the album. This album is the follow-up to 2014's Maximum Overload, which I thought was a good album. Ever since they got their new vocalist, her current vocalist, Mark Hudson, in 2011, I think this band has just gotten way better in terms of songwriting, the seriousness and all different aspects. They were good before with the original vocalist ZP, but with Mark, they've just gotten better and better. Ever since The Power Within, which came out 5 years ago, they just continue to get better. And I feel like they've grown a lot with musicianship and stuff. And this album is actually the first album with a new member, G. Anzalone, who replaced Dave McIntosh a couple years ago. And what to say about this album? It's just kind of similar to typical Dragonforce. Guitar-wise, Herman Lee and Sam Totman just shred all over the place, but it's not like the typical Dragonforce songs. Not all the songs are super fast. A lot of these songs are 4 or 5 minutes long, and there's one song on the album which is their longest song ever, 11 minutes, which I'll get into that in a little bit. But the guitars are typical, Herman Lee, Sam Totman, just riff central. The solos are just insane on this album as compared to any other Dragonforce song. The bass playing on this album is pretty audible. You can hear a little bass solo, on the song Astral Empire. You hear a little bass solo in there. The drumming, what can I say? G. Anzalone fills in those shoes that Dave McIntosh left. He just does a really great job on this album. The keyboards are good on this. I hear it a little bit more compared to the last couple albums. And the vocal work from Mark Hudson. My God, he's honestly way better than ZP. Not to say that ZP was bad, but Mark is just way better. He just got some insane range. And he does a lot of different stuff on this album. He has some songs where he has a little more grit and some of the tracks, which makes it sound different compared to his normal singing. But without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, it opens up with the title track, Reaching to Infinity, which is just a 90-second wordless intro. It's sort of slow and intentional. That sort of builds up into harmonizing guitars with a little drum beat, which then it goes into Ashes of the Dawn, which the first thing you hear is the typical trademark Dragonforce with fast guitars, with a symphonic sounding of keys. And Mark's vocals just share some really dramatic fashion to it, and I just love the song. It's pretty good. Judgment Day, a very fist-pumping monster, which starts off with very ambient light. Then it unleashes a frenetic electronic barrage from Vadim. It's just really good. And then Astral Empire, which in my opinion is the highlight of the album. It covers a lot. It starts off with a fast strumming intro, and there's a really cool slow riff in there. And halfway through, there's a little bit of a bass solo from Frederick, which I just think it's pretty good. You can hear a little bit bass, a little more compared to the last couple albums, which is good. Curse of Darkness. Really great vocals on this song. I believe we have quiet guitars in there with a simple drum beat. And this song is pretty interesting. It has some good mix of fast and slow tempos. It sort of changes a lot. And the album slows down with the song Silence, which is the ballad of the album. And this is pretty much captures of all elements in a traditional power ballad with some really great emotional lyrics and a softer feel to it. And it really has some great catchy chorus in there and some of the best keyboard playing on there. Midnight Madness, which then it goes right back into the old Fast Dragonforce with just some really, really great melody in there. War. Now, War is a very different song from Dragonforce compared to like all their other stuff. It sounds very thrash-like, and Mark does a lot of different things vocally, has a lot more growl and a grit in it, which I thought is wow. It just sounds really great. Land of Shattered Dreams. Not really much to say. I first heard it, it just was alright. But nothing really to say. That's just my opinion. The Edge of the World, which is what I consider the epic of the album. It's the longest song Dragonforce has ever done, which is 11 minutes long. When I first heard this, I was like, wow, this is insane. The highlights include sort of like the building nature in there, a really epic chorus, and sort of like some growling near the middle of the song. It covers a lot of territory in this track, and I think it's pretty much another one of the standout tracks on this album. And then the album closes with Our Final Stand, which is just sounds like very classic Dragonforce, and I think it's a good way to end this album. Now, of course, if you get the special edition version of the album, it comes with some 2 bonus tracks. The first one we'll talk about is Hatred and Revenge, which kind of sounds just like classic power metal with a really great central riff in there. And they actually did a cover song of Evil Dead, originally done by the band Death, which actually sounds a little bit interesting. I think hearing a power metal band covering an old school death metal little song, which sounds pretty interesting, but it still sounds pretty dope, I guess. Now, overall, Reaching into Infinity by Dragonforce is a really good album. I feel like they just gotten better and better since Power Within. If I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. So, yeah, that's my review of the new Dragonforce, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Keep it metal.